Chapter 092. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ding. You sent 30,000 medium-grade spirit stones, and tens of billions of subsidies took effect, triggering an excess critical attack. This excess crit multiplier, 426,000 times. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 127800000000000. Shanpin Spirit Stone. Ding. You sent 70,000 medium-grade spirit stones, and tens of billions of subsidies took effect, triggering an excess critical attack. This excess critical attack multiplier, 438,000 times. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 306600000000000. Shanpin Spirit Stone. Ding. You sent 120,000 medium-grade spirit stones, and tens of billions of subsidies took effect, triggering an excess critical attack. This excess critical attack multiplier, 446,000 times. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 53520000000000000. Shanpin Spirit Stone. Ding. You sent 2,100,000 medium-grade spirit stones, and tens of billions of subsidies took effect, triggering an excess critical attack. This excess crit multiplier, 455,000 times. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 95550000000000000. Shanpin Spirit Stone. Ding. Su, Changge frantically scattered coins. In his mind, the sound of the system clanged one after another. This subsidy, not only has a quality critical hit, but also a quantitative critical hit, and the grade and quantity of spirit stones have doubled several times. Big earn. Earned over. Ha ha ha, cool. Su Changge took a deep breath, his waist was straight, and the whole person was full of spring breeze, full of spirit. The sprinkler continues to scatter, the voice in my head is also ringing all the time. It took a long time before the scattering of coins came to an end, the city was boiling, and countless people looked at him like a god of wealth, with deep gratitude and excitement in their eyes. No thanks, I'm a peerless good person. Su Changge didn't wait for them to speak, so he flicked his sleeves, dropped a sentence, and then left here. Leave only a dashing back. Countless people looked at his back. All of them worshipped in their hearts, feeling that they had simply saved the galaxy in their last life, and actually met this living bodhisattva. Panlong Mountain, in a grove. After leaving, Su Changge went straight back here. There was no one in this place, and he was dressed in white and entered the system space. Master. In the space, Xiaoyu saw him come in, and his eyes immediately lit up. She turned into a human form, the colorful veil on her body fluttered in the wind. Her graceful waist was unbearable to grasp, attracting people's infinite reverie. Lian step danced lightly, and walked toward Su Changge with a smile. The graceful figure is like a walking landscape. Su Changge pointed to the mountains of spirit stones next to him and said, "That's all for you, quickly absorb it." The spirit stones subsidized by the system are all in the system space. Xiaoyu listened to his words, and his rosy lips suddenly opened wide, almost able to stuff an egg. She looked at Su Changge incredulously and said, "It turned out to be all for me." Just now, she was bored in the system space, and suddenly so many spirit stones fell from the sky. She had an ancient bloodline perception, and she couldn't measure the specific number. Too big. Originally, she thought that such a large amount was prepared by the master for himself, but she didn't expect it to be for her. "Master, you are so good to me." For a while, her snow-white cheeks flushed inches, as if a rotten flower bloomed on her face, delicate and beautiful, and not just because of such a large number. A more important point, Su Changge said last night that she would help her improve her cultivation. She thought that it would take 10 days and a half month at the earliest. But who knew that it would be cashed in the next day? The owner takes himself so seriously. Could it be that he is his treasure? Thinking of this, her cheeks became more and more blushing, her cheeks were red, and she looked down at her toes, looking very shy. Absorb it quickly. Su Changge didn't know what was going on in her heart, and said with a faint smile, "Okay, master," shout out why you was moved in his heart, walked to the mountain of spirit stones, and covered his white wrists, buzz. In an instant, she only felt that endless spiritual energy poured into her body, and her cultivation skyrocketed. Boom! Breakthrough. The day after tomorrow, break. Chi Si realm is a heavy heaven. Chi Si realm 5 heavens. Read more novels for free on our website, tinyurl.com/2aa54z8b. Chi Si realm 7 heavens. Chi Si realm 9 heavens. Boom. Metamorphosis realm is a heavy heaven. Metamorphosis realm 5 heavens. Metamorphosis realm 7 heavens. Metamorphosis realm .9 heavens. Boom. The golden body realm is a heavy heaven. Golden body realm 4 heavens. Golden body realm 8 heavens. Golden body realm 9 heavens. In just a few moments, all the spirit stones were absorbed, and the surge in cultivation made Xiaoyu frightened. "Oh, the master is so good to me, this huge amount of spirit stones actually allowed me to break through 3 realms in a row so quickly." Sensing the incomparable aura in the body, the little devouring eyes shined. But the breakthrough has not stopped. The cultivation in the body was still soaring rapidly, until it soared to the peak of the Dharma phase, and it was only then that it could not stop. She was satisfied. "I feel like I'm living in happiness." After the breakthrough, she began to check her changes. The already fair skin appeared even whiter, and the graceful little man's waist became slender and slim, long pick figure, autumn water-cut pupils. Joan's nose is delicate, and her red lips are moist. The crystal beauty eyes are like stars and gemstones. The 5 features are beautiful. The eyes are like autumn water. The temperament is ethereal and calm, noble and elegant, like the 9 heavenly fairies descending to the dust. Changge touched her small waist and wondered, how can it be 4 realms? He thought he had miscalculated and quickly did it again. The day after tomorrow, the Sea of Qi, the Metamorphosis, the Golden Body, the Law Phase, the Divine Palace. It is true that only 4 realms have been broken, that's right. The next moment, he suddenly understood, the small bloodline is noble, and the number of spirit stones needed to break through is naturally far from being comparable to ordinary people. After all, just the Hotian realm can cross so many realms to kill the Heavenly Eagle sect master in seconds. And now don't look at it, only 4 realms have been broken, and its true strength must be far beyond the law phase realm. Thinking of this, Changge was immediately satisfied, but there is also a small regret, that is, the quality of the spirit stone found by the small spirit vein this time is too low. If you can find a large spirit vein and get a high-quality spirit stone, the subsidy for brushing back is stronger than this time. At this time, Xiaoyu suddenly exhaled Roland and said softly, "Master, thank you." Changge patted her little man's waist and said with a smile, "There is no need to be so polite between you and me." Xiaoyu lowered his head shyly. Suddenly, she thought of something again, and said softly, "Master, I'm a little stuffy in this space, I want to go out and take a look, is it okay?" Changge slapped his forehead, only then remembered that Xiaoyu had been bored in the system space almost all day. "This is not good." "Yes, come, I'll take you out for a walk." "Well, the master is so good to me." Xiaoyu was moved in his heart. Soon, the space fluctuated, and the two appeared in the grove. Xiaoyu only showed Changge her humanoid state, so after going out, she transformed into a Tengu form. Just came out, Changge suddenly sensed something, his eyelids sharply raised, and he looked into the distance. P.S. I saw a lot of readers in the background, asking that a small continent has so many realms. I feel that they have reached the top. What's going on? I believe that many big guys here should also have such questions, so the little author will explain it here in a unified manner. First of all, this book focuses on innovation, not the kind of old routine of killing all the way from the small world and changing the map with infinite Matryoshka dolls. Everyone is tired of reading it, and I don't want to write this. Second, this is a big plane, a big world. And then the sect where Changge is located, as explained in chapter 10 above, many people may have seen it too quickly and missed. The sect where the protagonist is located is the strongest force in this world, the big force behind the scenes, that is, the hidden world sect, used to be a holy place, now it is hidden in the world. it is very arrogant, any holy place outside hears the name is terrified, the atmosphere does not dare to breathe, and the sect master Lin Invincible's realm is very strong. Is the Mahayana level. Many readers left messages saying that the protagonist in front of him was upgraded so strongly. Did it collapse? No, the book is very steady, far from the point of collapse. Oh, guys, did I make it clear? In addition, I once again grandly thank the big guy on the list, Dingyu, who loves to eat 8 treasure porridge soup, today at 5 o'clock and rewarded 23 yuan, woo, the little author's meal money for today's day has fallen, woo. Chapter 093. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Readers must see, Ji Xinyu is a female disciple prepared for Yi Qinyao, positioned as Su Changge's little junior sister. As far as the eye can see, a huge white-fronted worm pounced. This is a heaven-devouring tiger, higher than the saber-toothed tiger cultivation, more ferocious, and more blood-devouring. The body is covered with yellow-black fur, majestic, like a behemoth, giving people a strong sense of oppression. Roar! Between the electric light and flint, the heaven-devouring tiger jumped vertically, opened its blood basin and rushed towards Su Changge. What's going on? Su Changge was a little confused. He didn't provoke this monster beast. Why did this monster beast bite him? Master, be careful. Seeing the heaven-devouring tiger tearing over, the little devouring eyes were cold, and the bloodline belonging to Hong desolate and poor suddenly erupted, the blood in the body boiled, the muscles and bones crackled, the wind swept and fogged, and a claw tore out forward. Boom! The air flow is torn and rumbled, like a thunderbolt on a sunny day, cracking cracks. The heaven-devouring tiger moved violently, and it sensed an incomparably terrifying power from this claw, which was suppressed from the depths of the bloodline, and it was shocked that its spine was cold in an instant, and its heart was violent. Hiss! Rao that it was not a human and gasped, hurriedly turned around, and fled towards the coming road. In fact, it smelled the human breath just now, and wanted to come and hunt and devour flesh and blood, but who knows, this human being is just a mount so terrifying. At the same time, he was shocked at the same time, how powerful this human being was, and even a demon beast with a top-level bloodline used it as a mount. Big guy, absolute big guy, can't afford to mess with it, frightened so much that it turned around and left. However, how could Xiao Yu let it go? Dare to strike at the master, look for death. She is also a beast, so she naturally understands what kind of calculation this heaven-devouring tiger is playing. If it eats its owner, what will it do? Be furious. Angry. Hate someone's guts. Sting, la la. The sharp claws tore the space apart like a mirror, cutting cracks one after another, and tearing fiercely on the heaven-devouring tiger. This claw, whether it was bloodline suppression or Dharma phase realm cultivation, Xiao Yu burst out without reservation. Click. Crackle. Oh. The sharp claws were like grabbing a piece of paper and tearing it from the heaven-devouring tiger. The skin flesh of the heaven-devouring tiger suddenly emitted a series of cracking sounds, and the tiger's skin was cut abruptly by this claw, and the sharp claws pierced into its body, smashing the yellow dragon and tearing its bones fiercely. What? Click. The claws slashed inch by inch, and the sound of bones bursting out in its body in an instant, as if it was cut by a sharp knife blade inch by inch, the bone stubble splashed everywhere, and the blood rained out, splashing around. Soon, the Sky Eater stopped moving, it was torn in half abruptly, and all kinds of red and white flowed into one place. Xiao Yu was still angry, stepped forward, slapped a palm at its corpse. Boom! Under one palm, the heaven-devouring tiger turned into a blood mist on the spot, and even the ground was affected, collapsing downward, forming a huge deep pit. Xiao Yu is about to die of anger. How can you eat the master? Read more novels for free on our website, tinyurl.com/2AA54Z8B. What a death seeker. After the death of the heaven-devouring tiger, a dazzling golden crystal nucleus floated in its blood mist. Su Changge took it in his hand, and where he started it, he only felt that this thing was piping hot, as if holding a hard-boiled egg. Another bonus. Immediately, he looked at Xiao Yu and showed a satisfied smile. I have to say that the little eater after growing up is too violent. If you find a larger spiritual vein next time and raise her to a higher level, then it must not be terrifying to the extreme. Huh. Suddenly, he suddenly remembered Su Xianhua again. The saint is reincarnated and automatically grows in cultivation, and Xiao Yu has the bloodline of Hong Desolate Qi, and the bloodline is suppressed, and it is as strong as a sword. There are these two extremely terrifying guys around me. If you cultivate them all, then when the tournament comes, I am afraid that I can win if I am not rotten. Thinking of this, his heart was happy, and he shouted fiercely, "Cool." Xiao Yu suddenly asked, "Master, the people just now. Is it awesome?" Su Changge nodded with satisfaction, "Awesome." Xiao Yu immediately wagged his tail happily, and shook his hips at him, very happy. At this moment, an excited voice suddenly came from a distance. "Great, the benefactor is still here." Su Changge's heart moved, and he turned his head to look. I saw that the person who came turned out to be the green-robed young man who had just left. Behind him was a pure girl. What is he going to do? Su Changge was slightly puzzled. Was it discovered? Ha ha ha, I just said that the benefactor must not have left yet. The green-robed young man stepped forward in 3 steps and handed over his hand. "This brother, I just went home and thought about it. The more I thought about it, the more frightened I became. The more I thought about it, the more I was afraid. If it weren't for you, I'm afraid I would have died." Su Changge didn't understand, and tentatively said, "How do you say this?" The green-robed young man gasped and said fearfully, "There are many fierce beasts in this mountain range, and that cave is naturally no exception. I wanted to enter the cave, but fortunately I didn't. If it weren't for you, I would definitely be dead in the cave right now. What a word to wake up the dreamer, your great kindness, I have no teeth to forget." When he recalled what happened just now, he still had palpitations. There are so many ferocious beasts here, how can there be no caves? I almost died. Su Changge suddenly realized, for the rest of his life after the disaster, the green-robed young man was extremely happy and grateful, and said sincerely, "Benefactor, this is my sister, named Ji Xinyu, pure and beautiful, the water spirit is incomparable, you saved my life, there is no reward, only to give my sister to you." Saying that, he pulled the girl behind him and said, "Sister, come and meet the benefactor." The girl was a little timid, her face appeared red, she lowered her head shyly, and said intermittently, "See. I've seen Ungong." Su Changge couldn't help but laugh. "I'll take a go, this thing is all about. It's amazing." He looked the girl up and down, and saw that her skin was like coagulation, her jade body was slender, her posture was graceful, and she was as pure and moving as flowers and trees and snow. Although it is not said that the country is overwhelmed, it is the kind of small family Jasper, just like the girl next door. He is not a hypocritical person, the other party's sister has sent to the door, so how can it be unreasonable? Or not a man anymore? Okay, then she will follow me in the future. Su Changge made a decision immediately. The green-robed young man was overjoyed, his face was full of red light with joy, and said, "Thank you very much." Turning his head, he began to say to Ji Xinyu again, "Sister, there are fewer and fewer good people in this world now, and good people like benefactors, they can't even find them with lanterns. Entrust you to him, I don't worry." The corners of Su Changge's mouth raised slightly. "Gee, he hasn't opened his mouth yet," so he helped himself to do his sister's ideological work. Hearing her brother's words, the girl lowered her head shyly and said, She was actually looking at Su Changge just now, and when she saw his extraordinary appearance and heroic appearance, she had already secretly agreed, and a warm current surged in her heart, gushing out. Chapter 094. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Sister, you will follow the benefactor in the future, don't talk nonsense about anything else, I'll go. The green-robed young man left a word and left happily. Ji Xinyu stood in place and lowered his head shyly. "That. Anong, what is your name?" She crossed her index fingers nervously. "Su Changge," Su Changge replied, and said, "Let's go, I'll take you back to the sect. The spiritual vein has already been obtained, it is not interesting to stay here, it is time to go back." Ji Xinyu groaned like a mosquito. Immediately, Xiao Yu took them and took off into the air. Along the way, Ji Xinyu's small mouth opened slightly, and asked timidly, Su. Brother Su, where is the sect you are in? She didn't know what to call Su Changge, and subconsciously called it so. Su Changge said lightly, not far, Tai Xian Dao sect. What? Ji Xinyu's heart was shocked. This sect, she had heard some elders in the family mention it, this is a hidden sect. As long as all the holy places in the Kanglan realm heard their names, they would all hear their voices. There is a random person who walks out, even if it is just a miscellaneous servant, countless big forces have to give face. Right now, she was shocked that she had accidentally met the people of the Tai Xian Holy Land. Oh my God! Ji Xinyu's eyes widened, and his heart beat faster. In disbelief, Su Changge didn't care how she was, and focused on rushing on the road. After some time, he successfully arrived at the sect. Master, I suddenly found that after breaking through to the law phase realm, my body seems to be able to grow larger and smaller at will. In front of the mountain gate, Xiao Yu suddenly found that he seemed to be able to control his body shape freely. Her mind moved, shrunk a lot, the size of a teacup. Very cute. Su Changge held her in his arms and said, don't you want to see it in the outside world? Isn't that right? Well, Xiao Yu nodded happily. At this moment, a breaking wind sound streaked in the distance. Su Changge turned his head and saw that it was Yuehan who had returned. Is that so coincidental? Yuehan went out today to be distracted, but he scattered around, inexplicably irritable, and his mood was even worse. This feeling, as if something was missed, and the mentality almost collapsed. He glanced at Su Changge with a sullen face, and then without saying a word, he walked straight into the mountain gate. At this time, the space suddenly rippled, and a powerful figure walked out. Honor, don't be irritable, Master Wei will definitely find out the person who killed your brother. You must calm down, don't break your Dao heart. It's Du Sihai. Du Sihai knew that Yuehan was about to go crazy. Yuehan's breath was held in his heart, and he almost forged a heart demon. If it continued like this, I was afraid that the Dao heart would collapse. While speaking, Du Sihai also glanced at Su Changge, then he turned his face directly. Little transparent is just a waste of his own eyes. Master, when you catch that man, I will eat his flesh and drink his blood to relieve the hatred in my heart. Yuehan's eyes were red, and the roots of his teeth were itchy. Don't worry, I will definitely find that person out. You go back with me first. Du Sihai watched him being tortured by hatred like this, and his heart was filled with anger and took him away. Read more novels for free on our website, tinyurl.com/2aa54z8b. Watching the two of them leave, Su Changge sneered in his heart, the enemy is standing in front of you, and you don't know. Suddenly, he had a flash of light. Hey, Du Sihai is at the peak master level, why don't I see if he has a chance? The chance of the peak master level must be more terrifying than that of a disciple. Just do it. He immediately took out half of the spirit stone and awakened the Dark Soul Emperor. The outside air is so fresh. When the Dark Soul Emperor appeared, it directly turned into a grain of sand and landed in Su Changge's palm. Help me calculate Du Sihai. Su Changge is a long story short. The Dark Soul Emperor glanced at Du Sihai's back, then closed his eyes and began to calculate. Soon, Du Sihai's fate was prying eyes. The Dark Soul Emperor looked overjoyed, lowered his voice, and said, young man, what a chance. Oh. Su Changge suddenly became interested. The Dark Soul Emperor said in a deep voice, Du Sihai has two opportunities recently. A few minutes later, he went to the black market and auctioned a treasure armor at the auction house, and that treasure armor was called the Mixed Yuan 1 Qi armor. This item is extremely precious, and its defensive power is no less than the Qianquan heart armor I forged for you. And the second chance is an extremely powerful bomb, the Thunderbolt bomb. Once this kind of bomb is detonated, the energy fluctuations that burst out will explode in an instant, which is terrifying to the extreme. In the Middle Ages, there was a powerful person who developed this kind of bomb, and on that day there was a loud noise, like a flat thunder, shocking the earth, directly blowing through an ancient sacred mountain, Crooked Ruigyud. The more the Dark Soul Emperor spoke, the more excited he became, as if remembering his glorious era, and said, after Du Sihai got these two treasures, in order to appease Yuehan, he gave these two treasures to Yuehan. Then, at the tournament a year later, Yuehan wore a mixed Yuan armor, stood on the stage without brainstorming bombs, and effortlessly suppressed countless geniuses. Groove. Su Changge's eyebrows jumped. Brainless bombs, how does this sound like this? Cool. Anyway, wearing treasure armor, you can't blow yourself up, blow it up as much as you like. Young man, don't say anything, you must get your hands on this bastard armor and bomb, hurry up and go over and cut off your beard, hurry. Well, it's not good, I'm overdrawn again, sleep first. The Dark Soul Emperor lost his breath before he finished speaking. Su Changge's heart moved, and he immediately prepared to leave. Shen Yu, this is my identity brand, you take this to Luofeng to find the master, our master is called Yi Qingyao, you find her, indicate the cause, she will arrange a place for you to live. He took out a jade talisman from his body and handed it to Ji Shenyu, and then rushed to the black market. It's not that I don't want to take Ji Shenyu with me, but I have more of her, and I also take care of her, which is too dragging my feet. What is this situation now? With only a few minutes, it's time to wait. Brother Su. Ji Shenyu looked at the jade talisman in his hand, and a touch of emotion arose in his heart. She could see that Su Changge was suddenly in a hurry, but before leaving, I still worry about her and arrange her before leaving. Ha 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 ha, it is worthy of the peak master level, there are many chances, 2 at a time. This time, the treasure armor of the mercy is there. I can also drop mixed element thunderbolts. In the clouds, Xiaoyu changed his size again and flew high in the air. Su Changge was riding on her body, with a smile on her face. He had already thought about how to distribute these two opportunities. The mixed Yuan 1 Qi armor is given to Mercy, and the mixed Yuan Thunderbolt bullet is kept for its own use. Suddenly, he thought of something again, turned his head to look at the sect that was getting farther and farther behind him, and sneered, Du Sihai, you haven't obtained these two opportunities yet, I have even thought about how to distribute them. Clearly assigned for you. Chapter 095. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Just a few minutes after Su Changge left, Du Sihai of Tiantai Peak suddenly felt that he had his own chance in the black market. Go! With a wave of his big hand, he tore through the void, and the void cracked a passage, and he stepped into the passage, merged with the void, and disappeared. The next moment, in front of Mongtong Mountain, ripples appeared in the void, and Du Sihai walked out of the void. At his level, void teleportation is not too simple. Soon, he put on a huge black robe cloak and entered the dungeon. It's just that the auction hasn't started yet, and after he entered, he had to stand in front of the door and wait. On the other side, Du Sihai just entered the dungeon. Su Changge successfully arrived at Mongtong Mountain. Buzz, the void rippled, and dozens of powerful burly figures emerged. After they saw Su Changge's appearance, they bent down and said in unison, Big brother. Su Changge looked at them with satisfaction and nodded, I want to go in. Last time, the leader of the powerful figure walked out, ordered dozens of people, and said, a few of you, follow me to carry the eldest brother in. Soon, such a scene appeared in the dungeon. 8 powerful figures respectfully carried a noble palanquin and shuttled through the void. Around the palanquin, more than 10 powerful figures followed, hugging the palanquin like slaves. The group fell from the sky in this way. In the dungeon, everyone's eyes widened, and their faces showed expressions like they had seen a ghost, unbelievable and shocked. Shoo! Me! Which big guy is this, who actually let the black market creator subordinates carry 8 large sedans in? My mother, I don't have a dazzling eye, do I? Shoo! Can be so high on the black market, the old man has never seen it in his life. Vaz, today I kind of opened my eyes, someone is so awesome that he kneels. Phew! In front of the big guy, Hansa felt that he couldn't even speak hard. Countless people were shocked and amazed, feeling that their hands and lips were trembling, then hurriedly shut up. This kind of bigwig level figure, he dares to talk indiscriminately, how many dares? Du Sihai looked at the palanquin from afar, with a puzzled expression in his eyes, and said in shock, I don't know which big guy has arrived. Soon, The palanquin came to the auction hall under the opening of dozens of powerful figures. This is exactly the auction house last time. At this time, the door of the venue was already full of people waiting for the auction. In 10 minutes, the auction will begin. Get out of the way, Big Brother is coming, rolling calves who don't want to die. The powerful figure leader drank, and the entrance to the auction hall was instantly cleared. Everyone brushed in unison to make way for a road, and the palanquin passed in the middle. At this time, the owner of the auction hall, Black Dragon, was preparing for the auction upstairs, and he suddenly sensed the battle outside, and his heart was shocked. Immediately after the voice of the leader outside, it sounded, "Black Dragon, you are busy with your mother, what a big shelf. My eldest brother is here, are you looking for death behind closed doors? I don't care when your auction starts, dare to delay the eldest brother's time, lousy let you mess around in the black market." The sonic boom was like thunder, spreading in all directions. The Black Dragon hurriedly responded, "The Black Dragon does not dare." Black Dragon opens the door. Bang! The door of the auction hall opened, and the Black Dragon personally greeted him, bending down and respectfully saying, "Big guy, please come in." The leader of the powerful figure walked in carrying the palanquin. Read more novels for free on our website, tinyurl.com/2aa54z8b. Then the door slammed and closed again. Just open the door for the big guy, and the others continue to wait. Outside, everyone was stunned. Lying groove, the identity of the person in the palanquin must be extremely noble. Then it is necessary to say, "My mother, is it a key figure in a holy place?" That's right, it must be a powerful Daoist big man. Wait a minute. Could it be that the sect master of the Tai Xian Dao sect came here? This came out, groove. Shoo. 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 There was an uproar all around, and a whole row of neat gasps sounded. Du Sihai's heart was shocked, he gasped for air, and said in shock, "Shenyan. Be cautious. Don't be presumptuous." In the auction house. Su Changge didn't get off the palanquin. Xiaoyu had already turned into a human form, opened the curtain, and said loudly, "The master said, here is to obtain two things, the first thing, mixed yuan and 1 qi armor, the second, thunder and thunderbolt bullets, take it quickly, money is not a problem." The Black Dragon looked at the dozens of powerful figures, wiped the cold sweat on his head, and immediately said, "It is common for seniors to talk about money. Since the big guy fancy these two things, then the right to make friends with the big guy." He took out 2 gold chests, heavy with a buckle on them, which seemed to be where the mechanism was. The powerful figure leader took the treasure chest and respectfully sent it into the palanquin. Su Changge opened it and saw that the first thing was indeed a treasure armor. The whole armor is cast of real gold, and the golden particle patterns flow around the body, and the infinite rhyme sprays and flows on it, like the fire of the sun, mighty and sweeping in all directions. As for the second golden chest, inside were 100 small silver beads, about the size of a glass ball, held in your hand. You could clearly perceive the restless energy fluctuations inside. This fluctuation is unmatched, and the smell of irritable gunpowder is in the nose. "Treasure in hand, go." A voice came from the palanquin. The powerful figure leader immediately opened the door, and the 8 palanquins carried Su Changge out, soared into the air, and left the dungeon. Countless people watched this scene and sighed to themselves, "Alas, before we started the auction, the people had already taken the treasure and left dashingly." Who said it wasn't? People are more angry than people. I feel like I'm just rubbish compared to the big guy, and I can't wait to hit it to death. I think so too, alas. Alas. In the crowd, Du Sihai looked at the palanquin that was gradually leaving, and a hollow sense of loss suddenly emerged in his heart, as if some treasure had left him, which made him suddenly become angry. Anger breeds, the dark and violent side is about to move, but it is quickly suppressed by reason, and quickly snorts, realizing that he is thinking about something crazy, daring to be angry with the big guy, and is tired and crooked. Su Changge quickly returned to the ground. He said goodbye to the powerful figure leader and left the place. Big brother goes slowly. Big brother has the opportunity to come often. The leader of the powerful figure smiled with a smile on his face. After Su Changge left, when passing through a black forest, he suddenly heard something, and his heart moved. A gang is plotting. The 4th and 6th sons have dug a secret passage in Kunlun Mountain. Who would have thought that there was a huge spiritual vein buried under that mountain? Now send you into the gang, how about it, do you want to kill him? P.S. I want to know all the big guys, are these 3 chapters written by the little author today cool? Chapter 096. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Groove. Spiritual veins. What level? Shoo, you whisper, don't be heard by others, it's a huge spiritual vein mine. Liuzi squatted for 3 days, and finally determined to be the ultimate spiritual vein. Shoo. It turned out to be the ultimate spiritual vein. They all said that they want you to be quiet, if you leak the wind, Liuzi will be busy in vain. I know the boss, what are the plans? Of course there is, you listen to me. There were thousands of them in this group, all armed with large swords, and their physique was very strong. Changge glanced at it and found that it was a group of bandits who robbed the house. I was about to look for the great spirit vein, but I didn't expect this to be sent to the door. He was very happy in his heart and eavesdropped carefully. After a while, he knew everything about the plan of this gang of thieves. It turned out that the thief named Liuzi went to Kunlun Mountain and settled in a dormant cave made by a big snake, but found that there was an extremely rich aura in the cave. He tried to dig until he reached the bottom of the mountain, and unexpectedly dug up the spiritual vein. When the news came back, this group of mountain thieves was immediately excited, and immediately made a detailed plan, preparing to pass in an hour and hollow out the spiritual vein. Unfortunately, this news has now leaked. Changge didn't talk nonsense, and immediately rushed towards Kunlun Mountain. Phew! In the air, there was a sound of breaking wind, the thief's ears moved, and he immediately shouted angrily, "What kind of man?" Click! A big axe immediately smashed through layers of air, stirring the hurricane, and slashed at Changge fiercely. Change's eyes froze. There are too many of these people, it is better to blow it up directly with a bomb. So the little hand shook, and brainlessly threw a thunderbolt bomb, but what he didn't expect was that the system's tens of billions of subsidies suddenly arrived at this time. Ding! You sent a bomb that is about to explode, and the tens of billions of subsidies take effect, triggering an excess critical attack. This excess critical attack multiplier, 488,000 times. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 488,000,000,000. A bomb about to explode. Boom! 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 The violent explosion sensation shook the heavens and the earth. One bomb after another exploded one after another, and a terrifying mushroom cloud rose up in the exploding void. The rolling shock wave spread out like a landslide tsunami, directly bulldozing a radius of 100,000 li. Within a radius of 100,000 li, all the grass and trees evaporated in an instant, the lake dried up, the mountains collapsed, and the ruins were in ruins, and they were devastated. When the explosion dissipated, the bandits were all gone, the world evaporated, the dense forest was also blown into a deep pit, and there was no grass. Changge was dumbfounded. Groove, don't bring such a play, right? Fortunately, he was wearing purple gold dragon armor, otherwise. Lying in the groove, so afraid, coming back to his senses, he quickly looked at Xiaoyu, only to find that Xiaoyu had already become smaller, and he had subconsciously protected Xiaoyu in his arms just now. Lord. Master, thank you, Xiaoyu looked at him with adoration, his eyes full of confusion. Woohoo, it's nice to have the owner to protect you. Hey, the smell on the owner is so fragrant. Phew. Changge let out a long breath and understood. The first bomb is thrown, the system crit subsidies, and then at the same time as the first explosion, the second will also detonate, and the second will detonate the third. This process goes on and on, triggering chain reactions, serial bombings. Read more novels for free on our website, tinyurl.com/2AA54Z8B, Lying Groove, so awesome. He suddenly seemed to open a new world. Unlock the correct usage of Thunderbolt bullets. Every time you throw it out and get a critical hit, then it will trigger this chain reaction. like a reactor, continuous bombardment. The power is stacked layer by layer, and it is simply a big deal. He suddenly remembered Yuehan's brainless bomb. But Yuehan can only drop one bomb. But he was. Originally, there was only one bomb at a time, but in my hands, the power will be amplified by more than 40 billion times. A bomb, tens of billions of subsidies take effect, and then trigger the multiple of excess critical hit, subsidize back hundreds of millions of bombs. Serial bombing, this power, I rely on, how can I get it? Changge's face was full of red light, surprised and delighted, really happy. To be honest, he didn't think about this just now, but he just thought it was too troublesome to kill one by one, so he wanted to clear the scene quickly, just like the group seconds, just when the thunderbolt bomb comes in handy. Unexpectedly, it triggered this kind of unexpected joy. Fortunately, he was wearing such strong armor, otherwise he might have blown himself up. However, his strong armor can just let himself brainlessly drop bombs without dying. This is cool with a capital letter. Immediately, he did not waste time, patted the dust on his body, and left dashingly. In the clouds, Xiaoyu changed back to his original size and flew in the air. Changge rode on her body and headed towards Kunlun Mountain. That's a big spiritual vein, he must get it. Kunlun Mountain is 300,000 miles away from here, but this is like playing for Xiaoyu. Her figure is like light, and she arrives at her destination in a gallop. The scenery here is not ordinarily good, the scenery is beautiful, the breeze is pleasant. Balabla, Xiaoyu, go down. The little phagocytosis became smaller, and the two fell to the ground. According to the overheard conspiracy, the secret passage dug by Liuzi was under a large willow tree on the east side of Kunlun Mountain. Changge soon came under the willow tree. Looking down, I saw that this was a flat place covered with a thick layer of thatch. Want to hide your eyes? The corner of Changge's mouth raised a shrewd arc, and he violently lifted the thatch, and sure enough, a secret passage was revealed under the thatch, which was black, and the smell of snake blood was pervasive. This should be the snake cave. Changge jumped into the snake hole, and Xiaoyu shrunk and stood on his shoulder. Inside the snake cave, it has been dug extremely wide. Changge swept his eyes sideways, and saw a python corpse on the side. I think it should be the poor snake, and dormancy does not let people live in peace. Grass. Who are you? Suddenly, an angry voice sounded in the darkness. Immediately after, the violent aura rolled up like a wave, and the orange true chi roared like a dragon. A large axe slashed in the dark. It should be Rococo. Changge whispered, and in the face of this big axe with bells and whistles, he slammed a punch. The strong physical strength instantly burst the big axe, splashed Mars seeds, and exploded into powder. Stop. This spiritual vein has given way to you, and the little one just wants to live. Sting. Xiaoyu tore out with a claw, and a thunderous tearing sound erupted in the air, instantly separating the flesh and bones torn by Liuzi and laying the corpse on the spot. Changge flicked his sleeves and walked towards the depths of the secret passage. P.S. This chapter is thanks to the inspiration provided by the reader boss. Spring, Summer, Autumn and Winter 2022. Chapter 097. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Go deep into the secret passage. The 4 miles are very spacious, like a wide avenue, very easy to walk. Liuzi is really a very good person. He digged this secret passage is really good. I will directly pick it up and achieve it. The spiritual vein is at the bottom of the mountain, and Liuzi is a secret passage dug for his accomplices, but in the end, it cheapened him. Changge was extremely happy in his heart and quickly walked forward. Suddenly, something came to his mind. Isn't the Dark Soul Emperor also waiting to pick up ready-made? When he breaks through to a certain realm, he directly picks up ready-made possessions, and does not have to work hard to rebuild. It is simply old and cunning. It's just a pity. I don't know that I was exploited fiercely, and I am still smug in that silly way. After walking for about an hour, the light of the stars appeared in front of him, incomparably dazzling, more dazzling than the onyx divine stone, crystal clear, dazzling, accompanied by a rich spiritual energy. Changge sniffed lightly, and suddenly felt indescribably comfortable in his body, full of spiritual energy in his body, full of energy, and extremely comfortable. Here, it is really the ultimate spiritual vein. Developed. Immediately pick up speed and head deeper. Not long after, I faintly heard the sound of the river, like a big river, rushing, chopping, and even the sound of waves hitting the shore. Changge was overjoyed. This shows that the spiritual veins are too large and the water is panting. He walked like the wind, followed the sound, and quickly found his goal. A huge river appeared in front of him, with no end in sight, just like the Yangtze River, with magnificent waves, sweeping waves, and the roar of the waves in the ears. Sent it. Changge was overjoyed, and immediately took out the storage bag and packed it desperately. Xiaoyu, you also help me pretend. He took out the bag again and handed it to Xiaoyu. Although it is a top-grade spirit stone, he naturally knows how to maximize the benefits. Give all to the master, brush tens of billions of subsidies. And then give it to the little phagocytosis to absorb. Yes, master. Xiaoyu turned into a human form, took the storage bag, and immediately packed it up. The spiritual vein Jiang is extremely long. Xiaoyu is installed upstream, Changge is installed downstream, and his beard is cut off on both sides, and he is extremely excited. It's the same as picking up money. Soon, the storage bags were all full, the storage ring also filled up quickly, but there is still half of the spiritual vein left. I have to say that there are too many large spiritual veins, not only high quality, but also much more quantity than small spiritual veins. Seeing that there were still so many spirit stones left that could not be moved, Changge didn't know whether to cry or laugh. I'll go back. He suddenly remembered something and turned away directly. Soon he was back. There were hundreds of more storage bags in his hand, all of which were searched from Liuzi, in order to carry the ethereal spirit vein. Liuzi prepared a lot of storage bags, but I didn't expect that in the end. It was actually a wedding dress for others. Changge was in a hurry to take the spiritual vein just now, and forgot to search the body of Liuzi, and on this trip, he also found hundreds of thousands of spirit stones, plus a few weapon elixirs. There were many storage bags, and the problem in front of him was suddenly solved. The two did not waste time and immediately pretended to be tacit. As the saying goes, men and women are not tired of working together, and the spirit stone is quickly loaded, and Changge's divine sense is swept away, and there are 9.7 billion. It was more than 3 times taller than the little spiritual vein before. And all of them are top-quality spirit stones. It is worthy of the great spiritual vein. Read more novels for free on our website, tinyurl.com/2AA54Z8B. Subsequently, he followed the Yangtze River and found the source of the spiritual vein. This is the root of the spiritual vein that exists underground, a spring with a thick mouth of a bowl, constantly spewing out white spiritual energy. And the spiritual energy continues to condense into sparkling spirit stones one after another. Damn, found a treasure land. Changge didn't mention how excited he was. He collected all the hot spirit stones that had been condensed, and then left an introduction, and then led Xiaoyu to leave. When he arrived at the outside world, he directly moved Kunlun Mountain with physical strength, covering the entire Kunlun Mountain on the secret passage, completely blocking the secret passage. This is another private bank of mine. After saying a word, Changge left dashingly. 3 p.m., Tai Xian Daozong, Lihua Peak. At this time, Yi Qingyao was wearing a plain white long dress, and was holding an identity brand in the palm of her hand, and there were 3 big characters on the brand. Changge. Her beautiful eyes lingered on these 3 words. She forged the sign 4 years ago, so after learning that Ji Xinyu was brought back by him, she immediately accepted Ji Xinyu as a disciple without thinking, and told her that in the future, her identity will be Changge's little junior sister. She actually liked this new disciple very much in her heart. Shui Ling, pure and moving. Knock knock. At this moment, there was a knock outside the door. Yi Qingyao's heart moved. Could it be an apprentice? After a little perception, it was indeed him. Apprentice, the door is not closed, come in quickly. Yes, master. Changge pushed the door and entered. At a glance, I saw that Yi Qingyao was wearing a long dress today, and her slender and white jade legs loomed under the skirt. What a white! White and tender as milk. Changge sighed in his heart, sensing his burning gaze. Yi Qingyao's fair and flawless face suddenly flushed, and she shyly straightened her skirt and said, Don't look at master so directly. Su Changge coughed dryly and said, Master, you misunderstood me, how can I be that kind of person? Well, I know you're not. Qingyao's pretty face blushed, like a peach blossom blooming in the mountains. It's just that after saying this, she suddenly found that the apprentice's palm touched her leg to her heart's content. That's right, I'm really not that kind of person. I'm Su Changge acting dignified and upright. Since I want to, then do it, only think in my head and don't have the courage to do it, that's not my person. Qingyao was stunned. Before she could react, she felt the man's aura rushing towards her, and Su Changge took her into his arms and said, Master, give you a big surprise. He took out all the storage bags directly. In an instant, the white-flowered spirit stones flowed out like they didn't want money. Qingyao suddenly felt like she was hit by the super jackpot, covered her mouth sharply, and lost her voice in shock. My God! So much money! With a sweep of divine sense, it turned out to be 9.7 billion. The apprentice is really ping billion near people. For a while, her cherry mouth opened wide, falling into deep disbelief. Su Changge sorted out all the spirit stones and smashed them on her face. Master, don't be stunned, these money are all for you, take it. Without waiting for Qingyao to reply, he took his arm away from her and turned away. Leave only a dashing back. It wasn't until long after he left that Qingyao came back to his senses, staring at so much money blankly, feeling as if he was dreaming. It was at this moment that a sense of loss suddenly arose in her heart. The apprentice's embrace is so warm, I really want to be held by him for a while. Chapter 098. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On the other side, Su Changge walked out the door, and the system subsidy arrived on time. Ding! You sent 9.7 billion ultimate spirit stones, and tens of billions of subsidies took effect, triggering an excess critical attack. This excess crit multiplier, 500,000 times. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 4850000000000000000. Superb spirit stones. Woohoo, make a profit. Su Changge closed his mouth happily. It took him a full hour to finally count the following zeros. The resulting figure, 4,850 trillion. Trillions. Shoo. Scary numbers. I am rich enough to rival the world. With so many superb spirit stones, it should be enough to raise many levels in a row. Immediately, he found a secluded place and entered the system space. Master. In the system space, Xiaoyu was looking at the large area of piled-up spirit stones, and his heart was shocked. With such a terrifying amount of spirit stones, the aura that erupted almost condensed into dew, soaking her clothes a little wet. Su Changge smiled at her and said, Xiaoyu, this is also for you, quickly absorb it. The little eyelids were red, the beautiful eyes were moist, and she was moved and speechless. A warm current surged into the heart, spread in the atrium, and infected everything. She stopped the emotions in her heart and pressed her palm to the spirit stone. Buzz. A huge amount of spiritual energy poured into the body, and then transmitted to the roots and bones, as well as the meridians. Boom. When the aura entered her body, her bones suddenly emitted a crisp explosion, and her vertebrae transformed into a pure purple gold color, like a keel propped up, and the blood, pores, and skin were all dyed with a faint purple gold color. The body blooms with a magnificent luster, the golden sun is like a panic sun, and the eyes emit a brilliant light, like purple gold thunder, giving birth to infinite divine power, holy and mighty. It was also at the moment when the whole body transformed. The cultivation in the small phage is rolling, cultivation is rolling, driving the blood to boil. Move the blood a lot. Move blood triple. Move blood fivefold. Move the blood sevenfold. Move the blood ninefold. Boom. 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 A thunderous roar exploded all over the body. In just an instant, Xiao Wei rose straight up to the 9 heavens of the blood-moving realm. And, it's more than that. A huge amount of spiritual energy continues to pour into the body. The aura rolls and automatically drives the cultivation to boil. Jingu Ichij. Jingu Mie. Jingu Go. Jingu Nani. Jingu Kuju. Boom. Half-step Nirvana. When he arrived here, Xiaoyu took a deep breath and turned his head to look at Su Changge. His beautiful eyes were bright and radiating a moving light. This is just the beginning of the next round of absorption. Nirvana. Nirvana Duo. Read more novels for free on our website, tinyurl.com/2aa54z8b, Nirvana Quadruple. Nirvana Sixfold. Nirvana Yay. Boom. 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 The sound of the breakthrough was like a terrifying wave, and it resounded continuously, and the cultivation was directly chasing Su Xianyue. After a few moments, the roar fell silent. 4,850 trillion ultimate spirit stones were absorbed by her. The corners of Su Changge's mouth twitched slightly. I can really eat it. It is worthy of the bloodline of the flood wilderness, and it is terrifying. At this time, the brilliance on Xiaoyu's body gradually dissipated, a pair of eyes recovered, restored bright colors, shining like gemstones and moving luster. The whole person was radiant and breathy. Suddenly, a momentum erupted from her body. In an instant, this space boiled, surging air currents swept through, rolled over, surged in. One wave was not even, and another wave rose, like a big wave of sand. Tornado rain hit. Master, I can clearly feel that the power in my body has skyrocketed. Xiaoyu waved his hand lightly, and the boiling space instantly returned to calm, like waving his hand to smooth out the huge waves of the sea, easily and easily. Good. Good. Su Changge nodded in satisfaction. Next, he exited the system space. Xiaoyu just broke through, and she needed to be given time to precipitate, and he has something to do now. It's been some time since I went out this time, and I don't know if I'm anxious to wait. He immediately stepped forward and headed back towards the cabin. Along a road, Su Changge quickly arrived near the hut. Looking at it from afar, I saw a figure looking far away at the door of the hut, standing on tiptoe from time to time, looking into the distance, with sad eyes, pitiful, as if waiting for the return of Yuehan. Seeing this, he couldn't help but step a little faster. In a few breaths, reached the near front. Mercy, I'm back. Su Xianyue's heart moved, and when she saw the familiar face of the person who came, all the sadness in her eyes suddenly disappeared, and the light in her eyes flashed, shining, and she threw herself into his arms, whimpering, Gongzi. You're finally back. Su Changge only felt a warmth coming from his arms, which was the tears shed by Lear. He patted Su Xianyue's back and said affectionately, I'm back, let my family Lear be worried. Well, Su Xianyue hugged his waist and said softly, Lianer doesn't know what's wrong. When Gongzi is not there, Lianer has no bottom in her heart, and her heart is not steady. In her current world, there is only Gongzi. Gongzi occupies the whole of her world. Su Changge understood this. In her absence, Lianer felt insecure. He pinched Su Xianyue's cheeks and said softly, Okay, don't cry, don't cry. Let's go into the house and talk. At this moment, his eyes suddenly lit up. The aura on Su Xianyue's body was completely different from when she went out, and she had already reached the cave heaven realm. Hole in the sky. So fast. Su Changge was surprised and delighted. At this time, a system entry appeared on Su Xianyue. System tip. The reincarnation of the saint has reached the cave heaven realm. The cultivation is suspended from growth, and it is necessary to obtain the conditions for opening the cave heaven to continue to grow. If the host finds the conditions to open the cave sky for the reincarnation of the saint, then the host will get a more terrifying subsidy. Su Changge was overjoyed in his heart. It seems that I have to find a chance for Lianer. This is not difficult. I have that stupid hack grandfather with me, and there are opportunities everywhere. Suddenly, Su Xianyue spoke. Gongzi, I have reached the Dongtian realm, but my cultivation has not risen. I don't know what's going on. Hearing this, Su Changge gave her a concise explanation. Knowing the reason, Su Xianyue's eyes dimmed and said lowly, This. The things needed to open up the cave are too valuable. This is not easy to handle. Su Changge touched her little head and said with a faint smile, Don't worry, this matter is on me. Suddenly, Su Xianyue's heart was warm, and she only felt that Gongzi's words seemed to be a warm hot current, injected into her heart. making up for the emptiness there. She raised her head and looked up at Su Changge. Her pretty face was as white as the moon, and her eyes were full of Chinese light. Gongzi.Ps. If you wore this book, what would you want to do the most? In addition, a random selection of yesterday's gift boss to thank you. Thanks to, Do Good Deeds Never Leave a Name, for the Bobo Milk Tea.